I would like to ask Naomi if you can just take a few minutes and share something with us that District 5000 is doing.
Oh, okay. Remember those Aloha shirts that we had that were blue and red? Well, we have a lot of fabric left over, so our vendor is sewing these masks.
Oh, that's from the fabric?
Yeah.
Of the Aloha shirts?
It's 2020alohashirts.com, and they're $6.50. If Barry's going to do a group sale, then we can maybe do $5 if it's a bulk order.
What's bulk mean? How many?
Maybe 50 or more.
Okay.
But if you want to just order one, it's $6.50 on 2020alohashirts.com. It's from that fabric from the shirt. So if you have the shirt, you can have a matching mask.
Oh. Great, Naomi. Thank you. The other thing, which is a good segue in for Jim, and is that there are other ways that are available for volunteers in Rotary. And what I'd like to do is introduce you to Jim Marggraff, who is a Rotarian in our zone and has a terrific piece that I'd like him to introduce to you and tell us a little bit about. It's called Project Volunteer Search. And Jim, if you don't mind, if you can take over, that would be great.
Thank you, Joe Rita. Pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you. My name is Jim Marggraff. I'm a Rotarian at the Lamorinda Sunrise Rotary in Lafayette, California, District 5160. A quick background. I'm an inventor, entrepreneur at MIT. At this point, I founded a half dozen companies. If you know Leapfrog, that creates learning products for children, I had invented the LeapPad and brought that to the world. More recently, I started a company that did eye tracking, and we were able to create eye tracking, let you control things you see. I sold the company to Google 3 years ago, and from there, I connected Google with Rotary and brought virtual reality to Rotary. And if anybody's familiar with the virtual reality programs that have been underway that we did in 2017 in Atlanta, I launched that and helped Rotary drive that forward. So since then, my involvement in Rotary has grown, and including the connection with the folks in Evanston, it's advanced. So given that background, when I had been at Leapfrog years ago, I had a colleague we were working on advanced learning techniques. His name was Jonathan. Through the years, while I did my companies, Jonathan wanted and did some as well. 5 years ago, Jonathan worked on creating a program to address the shortage of certified nursing assistants in the U.S. Huge issue. CNAs, they're called. And he developed a program over 5 years with $8 million funding that's an online rapid course that's in 20 to 40 hours can take an individual, train them on what they need to become a certified nursing assistant. And it was remarkable. He did this with the Red Cross. The Red Cross endorsed, trained, worked with him on this. They tested it. They piloted it last year. So I happened to get a call from Jonathan now 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. And Jonathan said, Jim, actually 14 days ago, I beg your pardon, he had an idea. He looked at this training course. He was friends with General George Casey, who ran the Iraq work in the war in 2007 to 11, who knows how to mobilize forces. He said to General Casey, do you think we could take this training course and repurpose it to bring it out to address the shortage we have in the healthcare system given COVID? It's urgent. And he said, let's do it. That was 14 days ago. About 2 days after that, Jonathan called me and said, Jim, he explained this goal to basically repurpose the training to make it accessible without full certification, slightly down version of it, but bring it out to people and to connect them through the healthcare agencies, the governments around the country, to bring potentially volunteers into this force to train them on what they could do to help people. He explained it, said, I know you're with Rotary. Do you think that Rotary could be interested in supporting this, and would there be volunteers that would be interested in this? When he told me that, I thought, I think this could be very big for Rotary, possibly, but I wanted to see. At that point, I went to a team and a nonprofit I had founded just last November supporting virtual reality and more generally bringing technology to Rotarians. It was called the Global Impact Group. So I went to my team at the Global Impact Group, said, here's an opportunity. Shall we support this? They immediately said yes. So we then started to mobilize. Now this is 11 days ago. My counterparts on this nonprofit are in Atlanta and Florida. They started speaking to district governors there. I went to our club here in Lafayette and proposed this idea of Rotarian volunteers to enter this system. They loved the idea. From there, we then, within 2 more days, we reached out and connected with Rotary International, and because we were speaking to them about virtual reality. They said, Jim, I spoke to Tom Thorfinson, who's the Chief Strategy Officer, who I know well. Tom said, this sounds like something that could be very valuable to Rotary. We're hearing from Rotarians the question of what is Rotary doing about COVID and how are we going to support this? He said, John, give me more information. So we brought Jonathan to Rotary, explained what we're doing. They said, this sounds great, and they started working as well. So simultaneously, we began reaching out to both inside Rotary, supporting them on this, making connections, as well as Rotarians around the country at different levels. Now, to give you a sense of this program, the program involves Rotary, involves the Red Cross, involves Salesforce.com, Mark Benioff, involves ADP, which is, they have a program called Work Market, which was basically set up to support workers matching workers with jobs. And so it's perfect, matching volunteers with needs in the healthcare system. So there's some major players involved in this. Amazon.com, Salesforce, GoFundMe, LinkedIn now is involved, the CNN, New York Times. So this within now the last 10 days has moved very rapidly given the urgent need we have for volunteers to support a huge unmet population in the healthcare system. So what's happened since then? Since then, I worked with my contacts in Rotary, Rotarians, district governors, spoke to Jeff Cataret, who's in the East Coast, who represents a large population of Rotarians, worked through as well, was introduced via Brad Howard to Joe Rita. We spoke a couple days ago. I explained the program, explained what Rotary International is doing and what's happening. I understand since then that Jeff Cataret and Rotary International has discussed this with Mark Maloney, President Maloney, who is fully on board to support this program. And Holger, I expect, has heard about this, President-elect Holger, but right now, Joe Rita asked me if I would bring this to you to give you the background on it, to explain what it is, and open this up. Here's the current status. At this point, there will be a press release within 24 hours that will include all the parties that I've mentioned, including Rotary clubs and districts. So it will, and this will be a national press release. It'll be a lot of exposure. I think the next step is for me to pause a moment to let you catch up on a lot of information, but to say that the next step will be for Global Impact Group working with Rotary. So we're kind of the spear tip on the head of this, working with Rotary, Rotarians, clubs, and districts, because we're all Rotarians as a part of this. We'll be bringing this live under support of RI so that people now will be able to very shortly go to a website, get information, and begin to register for this. And I'll explain what happens from there. But let me pause and take questions if I could at this point.
Thank you, Jim. Absolutely. So does this make me a certified nursing assistant, Jim?
Great. So here's what happens. Here's what's happening now. And this is in the last, again, 3 days. We've done some polling with Rotarians. There will be 2 tracks on this program. The program, by the way, is called Volunteer Surge. Volunteer Surge. And you'll see this in the press. The Volunteer Surge program gives 2 tracks. One is for one that would like the full CNA training that was developed, which is pretty intense training. It's designed for people that would like to move into the market to become a CNA. That's one path of training that will be offered for free, accessible to all Rotarians and people in the country. That does not provide you with, you will not leave that with certification. However, you'll have roughly 70 to 80% of the training necessary for certification. You just need certain state sign-offs and some additional actual in-person training to be able to acquire that certification. However, there are many people for whom this will be an opportunity, youth as well, and friends of Rotary, family members that would like potentially to move into CNA training to address the shortage, to take on a new career, and to have a job potentially, given the labor with the unemployment that unfortunately we'll be seeing soon. So that is one opportunity. That's one path. The other path is right now being rolled up based upon a little testing of this with Rotary and feedback. This path, by the way, that path takes, again, about 30, 35 hours of training. We said, Jonathan, can we develop something that is even more suited for Rotarians? That could be a lot shorter training. In this case, it'll be 8 to 10 hours. That'll be more designed to take Rotarians' skills, professionalism, interests, communication skills, empathy as well, and be able to address still a critical need of unmet needs in the healthcare system. That is being rolled out right now with the help of Yale, with the help of the Red Cross, and a variety of parties here. We expect that to be available to Rotarians within a week. Even we're working to get this literally in days and begin rolling it up, and we'll have information available on signing up for that, and I'll come back to that in a little while. So to your question, does that answer your question, Angelita? And
yes.
Other questions we have?
Yes, thank you. And now we have a question from Diane Noriega.
Yeah, what I wanted to know was the program is available for Rotarians as well as non-Rotarians. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Those
tracks?
Yes. And even more so, as you know, as Rotarians, the future of Rotary continues to relate to how much exposure Rotary can have in the world and how we can continue to attract members. Rotary International, RI, is extremely excited as Rotarians about the implications of this, because here's an opportunity for us to bring in people, youth, to bring in our friends, to bring in family members and colleagues, in addition to be the organization that exposes this training now to other organizations. And what we're doing is the process by which you will show interest, number one, and that'll happen today. We'll give you the website you can go to log interest and to propagate that to your clubs, your districts, your clubs, your members. That's very, very, very important for us because we need names. Those names will be logged, and then shortly thereafter, we'll come back to those people and we'll give them access to the training. So this will be the starting point. Now, what's critical here is, as we develop that, we show basically the grassroots interest, which is Rotary. We collect those names, we reinforce that interest. Rotary International is very supportive of this. They also want to see the clubs and members and districts stepping up. When they do that, we then get the amplifier effect of Rotary International, taking this and rolling it back in all manners that RI can do. So the first step is now sharing this with you, letting know the support that we have already, the speed with which this is moving, the credibility behind this, and the implications this brings to Rotary and Rotarians, which is enormous. We're creating something here that's a system, a machine that will become part of the Rotary fabric, that in as much as we have eradicated polio with a machine that's been put in place, Rotary now has the opportunity to respond in an emergency in a rapid manner with people and all of our skills as volunteers, as individuals, to bring ourselves and our contacts to immediate definitive needs and be matched up and take part from the safety of our homes. That last course, the course that I described, the 8 to 10 hour course, will be effectively supported in a telemarketing-like manner where you'll be connected with people, speak to them about their needs. You'll be given a guided script to triage them, to work through their needs. And this will be addressing right now what's called the vulnerable populations that'll include homebound seniors and people with disabilities, and we'll be directly interfacing, speaking with, supporting those people. So that's the training that the 8 to 10 hours will give.
Thank you, Jim. Taco.
Yes, you indicated that this would be rolled out next week nationally. Can you explain how it will be rolled out?
Yes, very much. So the rollout, if you would, I'm going to share my screen for a second. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Excellent. So this is a flow diagram of involvement right now for this program, which is evolving daily. There are more and more people stepping in. But as you can see, the Volunteer Surge program will take volunteers from Rotary. We'll take, there's ongoing support with Salesforce.com, with software, LinkedIn, New York Times, CNN, and a growing set of press that'll be sharing this. This, again, the press release on this, referencing Rotary clubs and districts, which is why it's so important to share this with you right now, That press release will appear in newspapers and online in the next 24 hours. Okay, so that's happening. The Volunteer Surge Organization is where people will be directed. That's one opportunity. At the moment, that's live, volunteersurge.org. If you go there, the only training you can get is the full CNA training. And that's not really public yet because it's about to be through the press release. So not many people know about that. That'll become public. What we're doing right now and working with Volunteer Surge, we're going to provide you with another website which is, first of all, I beg your pardon, within 24 hours, Volunteer Surge will have a /Rotary sub-website. That's where we'll direct Rotarians. That'll become live again within 24 hours. And then that's where we will direct all Rotarians. And this will be shared widely through districts, through you and others for availability. In the interim, in the next 24 hours prior to this happening, I'll be back later today with yet another website, which is a stepping stone. It's theglobalImpact.org. I'll share this with you, where people can go in the interim until that Volunteer Surge /Rotary site is available. I'm sorry, lots of detail, probably more than you need at this point. We'll follow up with this in writing. But I did want you to see the involvement. So volunteers come in through Volunteer Surge. They're either already trained or they need training. If they need training, they go to the course, and the courseware will be the original CNA course, and then this shorter version that's tailored for Rotarians. They'll be routed through something called Work Market, which will then connect them through health departments and hospital systems to volunteers, and then they will take part. Is that sufficient at this point, Rita?
Yes, thank you very much.
Sure thing. I'll remove my sharing.
Very good, Jim. Thank you. Sunny has the next question. Sunny?
Yes, hi. Jim, thank you. This is awesome. We're really excited about this. I have two questions. You mentioned that the first course, the full course, was free. Is there a charge for the second?
All is free. Thank you very much. Great question.
Thank you. And my other question, I think you've answered it because you say we're going to be working from home. I wanted to see if you had anything to say about staying safe while we do that.
Yes, absolutely. So again, volunteers will have the option to work at home. And working at home, and you can take either training for that, but the second shorter training we think will get Rotarians working faster.
Thank you, Jim. That's awesome. We'll look forward to hearing more.